One subscribe means a lot and gives me the motivation to keep going. Thank you. Just a week before her wedding, I caught my spoiled sister tangled in a kiss with my boyfriend. I told her fiancé, and what he did at the altar left the whole room speechless. I'm a 28-year-old woman, and what I went through recently still feels like a surreal nightmare. It all began with small, almost invisible signs involving my 26-year-old sister and my 29-year-old boyfriend, Tom. My sister's wedding was fast approaching, and I was supposed to be excited and supportive, but her behavior around Tom started giving me serious doubts. At first, it seemed harmless. She'd laugh too loudly at his corny jokes, praise him in an overly enthusiastic tone, and keep seeking his attention in every group setting. I brushed it off, assuming she was just in high spirits because of the wedding. But then, things became strange. She would touch his arm during conversations, stand too close, and always position herself next to him at family gatherings. I'd catch her staring at him when he wasn't looking. I didn't want to seem paranoid, but deep down, I knew something felt off. One evening after a family dinner, I asked Tom if he noticed Sarah acting unusually flirty. He looked puzzled and said I was overthinking. "She's just being friendly," he told me. Still, I couldn't shake the discomfort gnawing at me. Something was off, and I knew I had to keep a closer watch. Over the next few weeks, I started paying more attention, and what I saw disturbed me. Sarah found every excuse to talk to Tom, always asking him to help with wedding errands even when I was standing right there. During a barbecue at our parents' place, I went inside to use the bathroom. When I came back, I saw Sarah and Tom standing unusually close in the backyard, whispering and laughing. The moment they saw me, they separated abruptly. I didn't want to cause a scene, so I waited until we were home and asked Tom what they were discussing. He claimed it was just about the music playlist. I pressed him. Why stand so close for that? He seemed annoyed and insisted nothing was happening. I told him I expected him to draw boundaries, but he dismissed my concerns as insecurity. Frustrated, I decided it was time to confront Sarah directly. I asked her to meet me for coffee. She showed up bubbly and clueless, chatting endlessly about her wedding plans while I sat across from her, my hands trembling. I interrupted her and got straight to the point. I told her I was uncomfortable with how she'd been acting around Tom. The touches, the glances, the constant proximity. At first, she acted shocked. Then she got angry. She denied everything and laughed it off, claiming I was paranoid. She said Tom was like family and that I needed to relax. I didn't back down. I told her I needed her to respect my relationship and keep some distance. She stood up abruptly, told me she wouldn't listen to ridiculous accusations, and stormed out of the cafe. I was left there alone, shaken and second-guessing myself. Was I really imagining things? Back home, I explained what happened to Tom. Instead of backing me up, he said I handled it poorly. He suggested I had damaged Sarah emotionally just days before her big day. I asked if he was taking her side, but he said no. He just thought I overreacted. The tension in our relationship skyrocketed. My sister refused to answer my calls. My parents reached out saying Sarah was deeply upset and I should apologize. Even Tom kept insisting I was overthinking everything. I started to wonder, was I truly losing my mind? But then, everything changed. A week before the wedding, I went to my parents' house to try to smooth things over. As I approached the side yard, I heard muffled voices. I peeked through some bushes and froze. There, hidden behind a large shrub, were Sarah and Tom, in a passionate embrace. Her arms wrapped around his neck, his hands exploring under her shirt, and their lips locked in a way that tore my heart into pieces. I stood there, stunned until a gasp escaped me. They jolted apart. Their faces turned ghost white. Tom mumbled, "It's not what it looks like." But it was exactly what it looked like. Sarah started crying, stammering that it was a mistake. I couldn't bear it. I ran to my car, ignoring their pleas and calls. My world collapsed in that moment. I got home, packed a bag, sent Tom a final message. "We're done. Don't contact me." And left. I checked into a nearby hotel, completely broken. Didn't answer anyone's calls. I didn't even tell my parents. But there was one person I knew had to hear the truth, Sarah's fiancé, Mark. I called him and poured my heart out. I explained everything, my suspicions, the gaslighting, and finally, what I witnessed in the garden. Mark didn't say much. He quietly thanked me, said he needed time to think, and hung up. I didn't hear anything for days. I assumed Sarah had convinced him to forgive her, that the wedding would go on, and that she'd get her fairy tale ending while I was left with the wreckage. But then, my cousin Emma called the night of the wedding. Her voice was full of shock. She told me Sarah walked down the aisle in a beautiful dress and everything seemed normal, until Mark stepped forward to speak. In front of all the guests, Mark announced that he couldn't go through with the wedding. He said he had discovered a betrayal, that Sarah had been involved with her sister's boyfriend, and he couldn't marry someone capable of hurting their own family like that. The entire room gasped. My parents looked stunned. Sarah burst into tears. Mark then turned to my parents and apologized, saying they needed to know why I had distanced myself. And just like that, he walked out of the ceremony, leaving Sarah crying at the altar. Emma said it was like a movie scene. The entire family was in disbelief. My parents tried to get answers from Sarah, but she was too hysterical to speak. Meanwhile, I sat in my hotel room, feeling both vindicated and hollow. Yes, the truth was finally out. But at what cost? My relationship was shattered. My sister's wedding was ruined. My family was fractured. But at least, I was no longer being called crazy. It will take time to rebuild, and I'm still not sure how to face my family again. But one thing this whole mess taught me is to never ignore your gut feeling, even when everyone tries to silence you. To anyone going through something similar, trust yourself. Your instincts are there for a reason.